Hello everyone, welcome back to another edition of Elite Sports Shooting. My name is Jeff. Today we have a treat. We're going to do a comparison face-off video between the Browning Maxus 2 and the Beretta A400 Extreme Unico. Now, I have done reviews on both of these shotguns. If you want, check those out. But now I'm going to actually compare one against the other. So it's a pretty fair comparison, although the Browning Maxus 2 that I own, the carbon fiber edition, is a 3-inch shotgun, and the Beretta A400 Extreme Unico is a 3.5-inch gun. Now, it's a fair comparison in the grand scheme of things, because I'm only going to run 3-inch shells through both of them as far as like a max load, so it'll be good to compare that way. We're actually going to be running the Challenger number 8 1 1/8 ounce 3 dram with a muzzle velocity of 1200 feet per second. And we'll take the 3.5-inch magnums out of it, and we're only going to be running the Super Magnum Challenger 3-inch. They are a 1 1/8 ounce dram, or a 1 1/8 ounce shot with 1550 feet per second. So a couple of things that we're going to do is we're going to compare how they look. The look, I'm not going to go into length of pull and all that other stuff. I think just a quick comparison between the two would be the best, because I want to do some shooting. I want to see how they handle against each other. So first we're going to go through the Browning Maxus 2. Now this is the, like I said, it's a carbon fiber edition, and it is the sexiest gun that I have ever held. This is a pretty sexy looking gun. It's got the carbon fiber dip with the minus the Cerakote finish on the receiver on this point. So all the way up, even with the barrel, it's got the rubber grip on the foregrip as well as the pistol grip. So as far as a good grip on it, and as far as the looks goes, I'd say that is a pretty sharp looking shotgun. Now, the Beretta A400 Extreme Unico is absolutely beautiful. Now it's more the matte black finish with the Cerakote receiver. It does have the rubber foregrip and the rubber pistol grip. It's got the rubber kickoff recoil reduction system and a good firm rubber butt pad on the end. So as far as looks goes, that's a pretty sharp looking shotgun. But if I'm comparing them side by side, as far as looks goes, I'm going to give it to the Browning Maxus 2. It just looks absolutely amazing. Now let's go for like actual like functionability. So I know I dipped into it a little bit. It does have that rubber foregrip and the rubber rear grip. It's really grippy. It's not going anywhere in your hands, even if it was in the winter time or if it was wet outside. If it's either, you're going to have gloves on. It does have the rear crossbolt safety because it has a massive trigger group. So as far as functional, it took me some getting used to get used to this, the rear crossbolt safety. I know there's some people that prefer it. I was always, with this, I'd have to reach way too far forward. So I'm glad it's a rear crossbolt safety. But it does have a soft comb cheek pad, so it doesn't beat up my cheek. If you've watched my videos, you know some guns do beat up my cheek. the Beretta A400 beats up my cheek. Now, we're still on functional, so the higher vented sight rail with dual beads. So it's got an ivory 4-bead, or an ivory mid-bead, and a and a fiber optic 4-bead, and it mounts really well. I like the way it feels against my cheek when I mount it, and I keep hitting my earpiece. So it mounts really well, and it has the oversized controls. Another function about this is every time you pull her back, it locks it open. I think that is a benefit. Not saying that it's not, you know, pressing that trigger release is difficult, but it just takes a step out. Now, as far as the loading port here, it is milled out a little bit. This was actually more designed for sport shooting. Now, when you're loading it, another beautiful, and this is an asset, is when you're loading it, it automatically loads it. You got to push it in a little bit further and let it, you know, slam back, and it loads that shell automatically. So if you're dual loading or quad loading, it's a benefit. So it's got a little bit of a groove in here as far as for loading. When you're loading the rest, so normally I wouldn't go so high, but when you're dual loading and coming right down, I find it a little bit better. So mill down a little bit. So the function is really nice. So I'm going to put a couple of shots downrange, and then we're going to jump onto the Extreme Unico. The other thing I like for looks is the extended the goose band, the gold goose band or the brass goose band extended chokes. Just beautiful. And then that gold trigger, the gold trigger. Very beautiful shotgun. Browning, you did a very good job. Now, the Beretta A400. Now, I love this shotgun. I think it's absolutely amazing. It's, as far as weight goes, it's pretty even. As far as functional, it does have the front crossbolt safety, which I prefer, but it does have a very small trigger group. So if you had gloves on, it'd be very difficult if you were to take this waterfowl hunting. If you had smaller gloves, it would be okay to get your finger in here, but the trigger group on the Maxus 2 is just a little bit bigger. So it has a flush with the receiver vented sight rail with one fiber optic 4-bead. Now, it's not bad. It mounts very well. When you shoot it, that recoil reduction system does take a lot, but this does have that that good thick rubber butt pad on the back here. So they're pretty equal. It does have the rubberized grip. So the functional, as far as being functional, very functional shotgun. We're gonna load it. It does not have the milled out loading port here, and you have to load one in the chamber first and then follow up with two. It is a little, I wouldn't say it's sharp, but if you try to dual load, it's going to be challenging. Like I said, the Maxus 2 was built for sport shooting, and it shows. So we're going to put a couple shots down range. Safety's off. Wow. They both shoot like a dream. This has the flush mounted choke. I'm going to probably purchase a couple extended chokes just because I like the extended chokes better. I like to spin them out. It's easier to spin out. Not saying it's a huge deal, it's just a preference. Now, both of these guns are going to actually, you know, shooting is actually, sport shooting out here on the range is actually a lot of fun. I do it. It's a great place to meet people and have fun. But it's also pretty awesome if you look good while you're doing it. Now, both of these guns would draw attention. Everybody has, you know, said something about the Extreme Unico. But as far as the looks goes, I have to give it to the Browning Maxus 2. This stops people dead in their tracks. This is a sexy looking shotgun. People stop. They want to look at it. They actually want to shoot it. So let's shoot a couple of 3-inch rounds, and we're going to see which one handles the 3-inch rounds a little bit better. I'd say as far as recoil, they're both equal. I really prefer the soft comb cheek pad. That is a preference. I don't get beat up in the face. And the higher vented sight rail versus the flush mounted sight rail, I don't get beat up in the cheek. So we're going to put a couple of 3-inch. And again, I love that feature. Thank you, thank you, Browning. So we're going to put a couple of more rounds out. Now, anytime you shoot a 3-inch round, you know it, but that recoil pad really does absorb a lot of it. That action absorbs some of it as well. Now we're going to shoot two 3-inch. Make sure they're 3-inch. 3-inch out of the Beretta. I'd have to say they're pretty much even Steven. Oh. Now, looks has to go to the Browning Maxus 2. The shooting is pretty equal. As far as the controls and usability, I'd have to go with the Browning Maxus 2. The Browning Maxus 2 just did a whack of different things. It's turned into actually my favorite gun, my favorite sport shooting gun. I bring it down. I try to do trap night, and I come down with friends and family, and everyone wants to shoot this shotgun. I make them shoot other guns first, and they always go to this one because it's reliability. It cycles very well. It handles all kinds of loads, and you have to say that is a beautiful, very sexy shotgun. So anyways, that's it for me. If you have any questions or comments, or you disagree, you know, leave those below. I try to get back to everybody. If you like the contents of the video, give me that like button. I really appreciate it. And always remember to keep both eyes on your target. Thank you, everyone.